Let's first put some gloves on because I got some new material and it looks like a samurai sword. Sword.
A sword.
Alright, so Ellen is up for a challenge. She's gonna park the big van that she's never driven before in reverse into our driveway so that we can start working. Check it out. That's a big thing.
And I'm straight in a straight line for the first time. I'm shaking.
We're ready to start insulating. I have chosen two types of insulation. We have this Dodo soft material. It's Dodo Fleece, 100mm thick, that we're gonna use for all the walls. And then we have the hard PRI boards that we're gonna use for the floor insulation and the ceiling. I chose these two materials because they serve their purpose best in that way. This is a very hot topic on the internet. I know everybody has his own opinion, but this is how we chose to do it after a lot of investigation and talking to other people who have experience with all this stuff. So check it out. So in all of these small cavities, it's quite easy to put all the Dodo fleece in there without any glue. You can lock it behind these kind of things, so I don't worry about that. Let's start with cutting all the fleece into the right proportions so that we can start filling all these gaps. Woo! Put something on the floor to keep this clean.
Yeah, maybe
It's
because
quite dusty.
it's dirty.
I think so.
I will get some sheets.
Alright, thanks. Nice and soft. Looks
Yes.
like one big toilet paper roll. Big
Yeah,
one
but a
for
soft one.
elephants.
A really soft one. I would like to have toilet paper like this. For my unicorn ass.
So this Dodo fleece material was not easy to find. I had to order it in the UK. Within Europe, I didn't really find a supplier. And there was one supplier in the UK who still had a bunch of rolls. Even Dodo itself was sold out. So I got really lucky that I still found this stuff. Another alternative would be the Tinsulate, but that's something that you I only found it in the States or in Canada. So that would take a long time to get it here. So that's why I opted for this Dodo fleece. Those are actually recycled plastic bottles. So it's very sustainable material. And it's also rot and mold proof. So that's why we opted for this sustainable material.
Growing muscles. Nice and cut.
Okay, so I tried this first bit over here. It's a bit of a fiddle because the material is 100mm thick, and as you can see, this void is not 100mm, but if you get it in there, you have a nice tight fit all over. It even fills the gap until here. I just need to add a little here because there's a rib here that's preventing the material from getting into this corner, but otherwise the whole void seems to be filled up. So let's try to do all the top rows today and maybe the bottom ones. By pushing this in the smaller parts, we do lose a little bit of the insulation properties because we are condensing it, and it's actually the air inside that gives us the insulation. But since we still have some additional wood paneling inside all of these voids, that will give us a better insulation value. I don't really worry about that, so let's get it in there.
Add some small bits and pieces.
Yeah. because this is a really narrow opening here at the top. You can hardly reach it with the thicker material, so you just cut some smaller pieces and you fill it up until you have no void at all. Okay, we already got some insulation in place, but the cold isn't making it easier. It's hard on the fingers and definitely thick material to cut. Luckily, we bought some new textile scissors that makes life a lot easier than using just the kitchen scissors. So definitely a tip for cutting the insulation is buy a good scissors. Yeah. This whole profile is very hard to reach. There's only a hole in here on the bottom and a hole on top here. So we first filled all these voids to make sure that we can reach them, because if you have this insulation in place, you can't reach the bottom holes anymore. So definitely take in mind that you fill up all the gaps that are needed before you start insulating the big pockets.
What?
Still, how do you get stuff in there? There's like only an opening in the back. This wide.
Tiny hole.
Is this? Oh, okay, I can fill up that. Yeah. Shove it in here. It's quite the puzzle sometimes.
Woohoo! It's like making a bird's nest.
Yeah, definitely. We're starting to lose the light, so luckily we already got a lot of stuff done in a couple of hours. We only got the afternoon today, but this week we will continue insulating and I will document the whole process. So see you on the next sesh. I found some rusty spots all the way in there and I can't reach it with the sandpaper. So I had to MacGyver this, put some sandpaper on a stick so that I can easily reach into this void and make sure that it's clean for painting. Always a challenge, these buses. You always find these little things along the way, but you really have to get them fixed because you really don't want to have any rust when the walls are sealed. So let's tackle this one. I have started to insulate the doors, but they do have some holes and crevices that you cannot easily reach. Like in these ribs and stuff like that, you really have to push it in. And all the way over here, I couldn't reach it. So I made this stick and it fits right into this open space so that I can push the wool inside. And I also added this cord because if I lose the stick inside the door, it would be stuck in here forever. As you can see, there's no opening in the bottom, nowhere. So if you lose the stick, it would rattle and it would make noise inside your door. So always make sure that you have a safe exit and that you can take the stick out at any time. Take that in mind. We have the doorknob. And this has a mechanism on the inside right here in this compartment. So I made sure that this insulation is not touching the moving part here in the door. So definitely something to take in mind if you don't want to get your insulation stuck into the mechanism. Okay, I got a new piece of material and it kind of looks like a samurai sword, and I put on some gloves because I don't want to cut myself. And this is a really handy tool because we had some issues with our scissors. The scissors broke down after almost completing the van, but this is specifically made for these kind of materials. So this cuts a little bit more rough than a scissors, but it definitely does the trick. And I only need to do the door, so for that I will use this samurai tool. Okay, so this knife has two sides, as you can see. It has like a butter knife side and a sharp side. The sharp side is actually for hard materials, and the bigger teeth are for the softer materials. And it really works kind of well. Pretty intense, but it does the trick. Glad I got this. because otherwise I couldn't finish the van. So, bueno. Alright, and as you can see, it really started snowing, which is making the build a little bit more challenging, but we're not giving in. We're continuing to build even within the cold. And on that note, I'm gonna love you and leave you. See you on the next one. Peace out and bam!